What's happening, everyone? Welcome to Gameball NFL Endzone podcast, where the football season never ends. I'm your host, Michael Riley. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you out the AFC and NFC West division schedule predictions of the 2017 wins and losses on the upcoming season for the teams. So let's go ahead and get this started. The AFC West Division schedule. Denver Broncos 2017 schedule. Week 1 versus Los Angeles Rams. Week 2 versus Dallas Cowboys. Week 3 at Buffalo Bills. Week 4 versus Oakland Raiders. Week 5 bye week. Week 6 versus New York Giants. Week 7 at Los Angeles Chargers. Week 8 at Kansas City Chiefs. Week 9 at Philadelphia Eagles. Week 10 versus New England Patriots. Week 11 versus Cincinnati Bengals. Week 12 at Oakland Raiders. Week 13 at Miami Dolphins. Week 14 versus New York Jets. Week 15 at Indianapolis Colts. Week 16 at Washington Redskins. Week 17 versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Week 1, it should be easy because the Rams are young and they're going through changes, and the quarterback tissue should already be set, and the quarterback should have a decent day against the defense. So this should be an easy win for the Broncos. Excuse me. Week 2 versus the Dallas Cowboys. They're at home. I believe the defense will find a way to get it done and stop the Cowboys' running game, and they will win at home. Week 3 at Buffalo Bills. It could be a tight one, but I just don't see it happening. This game could be blown out of the water by 14 points, so I'm going to go with Denver on that one to win on the road. Week 4 versus Oakland Raiders. It's going to be a tough one, but somehow, some way, the Denver Broncos will sneak one out against Oakland at home. Week 5, they got a bye week. Week 6 versus the New York Giants is going to be a tough game, but I feel like Eli Manning and the crew will find a way to make plays on offense and win the game. Week 7 at Los Angeles Chargers. This could be another game or a track game. It'll be close, but I figured the Los Angeles Chargers will find a way to win that game. Week 8 at Kansas City Chiefs, the loudest stadium in the NFL. It might be a blowout, so it's a loss on the road for Denver. Week 9 at Philadelphia Eagles, back-to-back road games. This is going to be tough for them, but I don't see them overcoming the deficit of this game, so it's going to be a loss on the road. Week 11 versus New England Patriots, even though they're at home, but I just don't see them stopping the powerhouse of New England Patriots offense and defense, and they ain't going to be able to recover. Week 11 versus Cincinnati Bengals. This game could get tight, but at the end, I just find Denver will be in it and to win it, and they'll find a way to make play on defense with a pick 6 to win that game. Week 12 at Oakland. It's going to be a tough road in Oakland in the black hole, and they're going to be ready to play. So I expect Oakland Raiders to beat Denver on the road. Week 13 at Miami Dolphins. They go for the East Coast to the West Coast. So I figure that it'll be tough, but Denver will find a way to win that game. Week 14 versus the New York Jets. Easy win. They're starting over from every positions all over. Week 15, the Denver defense finds the way to stop Andrew Luck to win that game. Week 16 at Washington Redskins. Not win that game. I picked the Colts to win that game against Denver. It's going to be tough, but I think Andrew Luck will find a way to win that game at home. Excuse me for picking Denver. I actually picked Indy to win at home week 15 against the Broncos. Week 16 at Washington Redskins. Another tough road game, but it's going to be close. Washington Redskins will find a way to sneak out with the win. Week 17 versus Kansas City Chiefs. Another tough one. There's going to be another loss, so they'll lose to the Chiefs. And the Denver Broncos 2017 overall record will be 7-9. 7-9 is not bad, but their only downfall on the offense is the lack of quarterback and also the lack of running game. Or otherwise, I would have given them a better record. But 7-9 sounds reasonable. Kansas City Chiefs 2017 schedule. Week 1 at New England Patriots. Week 2 versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Week 3 at Los Angeles Chargers. Week 4 versus Washington Redskins. Week 5 at Houston Texans. Week 6 versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Week 7 at Oakland Raiders. Week 8 versus the Denver Broncos. Week 9 at Dallas Cowboys. Week 10 bye week. Week 11 at New York Giants. Week 12 versus the Buffalo Bills. Week 13 at New York Jets. Week 14 versus Oakland Raiders. Week 15 versus Los Angeles Rams. Week 16 versus Miami Dolphins. Week 17 at Denver Broncos. Week 1 on the road against New England. The Thursday night football, they opened the ceremony with the Super Bowl title as 5-time world champions. And I don't see the Chiefs finding a way to win the game on the road against New England. It's going to be too much for them to overcome. Week 2 versus Philadelphia Eagles. They come back home, regroup, and find a way to get the job done against the Eagles. And Andy Reid will come out with some of his leads because that's once was his team that he coached. So it could be a little bit interesting, and it could be a revenge game for the head coach. Week 3 at Los Angeles Chargers. The Chiefs will find a way to win this game double digits. Week 4 versus Washington Redskins. They're at home. I don't see them losing at home against Washington Redskins. Week 5 at Houston, Texas. It'll be close early parts of the game, but I feel like the Chiefs will find a way to make more plays than the Texans to win that game. Week 6 versus Pittsburgh Steelers. This is the divisional rematch of the playoffs. The Chiefs lost by 3 field goals or more. Last season, the divisional round of playoffs, no touchdowns was surrendered. So I have a funny feeling that Kansas City will have some come up their sleeve and come out with some tricks and come out swinging big. I'll give this a 14-point win at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Week 7 at Oakland Raiders is going to be a tough one, but somehow, someway, Oakland comes out on top and beats the Chiefs. Week 8 versus Denver Broncos. With a quarterback, whoever is in Denver Broncos, is not going to be too good for against the Kansas City Chiefs, so the Chiefs will win that one at home. Week 9 at the Dallas Cowboys. This game will come down to the wire, but I feel like the Chiefs defense will make one more play to the Cowboys offense to win that game. Week 10, bye week. Week 11 at New York Giants. It's going to be tough on the road, especially against the G-Man, Odell Beckham and the crew, but I feel like Kansas City will do enough to win that game offensively at the end. Week 12 versus Buffalo Bills. They're at home. I don't see them losing that game. Week 13 at New York Jets. That's an easy blowout. Week 14 rematch against Oakland Raiders, but they're at home, and the Chiefs will find a way to get it done at home to win that game. Week 15 versus Los Angeles Chargers. Same thing. I don't see the Chargers putting up points or stopping their offense to win that game. Week 16 versus Miami Dolphins. Last home game of the season, they want to go out with style and a bang, and I feel like the Chiefs will do that and beat the Dolphins. Week 17 at Denver Broncos. The Kansas City Chiefs will find a way to pull it off against Denver, make it 2 years in a row, sweep them. It'll be 4-0 against the Broncos the last 2 seasons to put the Kansas City Chiefs as back-to-back AFC West Division champions with a 14-2 record. Los Angeles Chargers 2017 schedule. Week 1 at Denver Broncos. Week 2 versus Miami Dolphins. Week 3 versus Kansas City Chiefs. Week 4 versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Week 5 at New York Giants. Week 6 at Oakland Raiders. Week 7 versus Denver Broncos. Week 8 at New England Patriots. Week 9, a bye week. Week 10 at Jacksonville Jaguars. Week 11 versus Buffalo Bills. Week 12 at the Dallas Cowboys. Week 13 versus Cleveland Browns. Week 14 versus Washington Redskins. Week 15 at Kansas City Chiefs. Week 16 versus New York Jets. Week 17 versus the Oakland Raiders. Now, week 1 is going to be a tough one for the Chargers, so it's going to be a loss for that one. Week 2 versus Miami Dolphins is going to be close, but I have a fun feeling the Dolphins will find a way to win that game. Week 3 versus Kansas City Chiefs. It's going to be a tough one, but the Chiefs have the upper hand, and they'll find a way to win. Week 4 versus Philadelphia Eagles. Another tough game at home against a very talented team. And once again, Philadelphia will come out on top. Week 5 at New York Giants. It's going to be close, I think. They'll find a way to keep it close. But the Giants will make more plays to the Chargers to win that game. Week 6 at Oakland Raiders. The Black Hole Raiders offense against the San Diego Chargers defense. I still don't trust the Raiders defense, but they found a way to blow this game out of the water. Week 7 versus Denver Broncos. They're at home, but somehow, someway, I see the Denver Broncos making more plays to the San Diego Chargers to win that game. Week 8 at New England. It's going to be too much, so it's going to be a loss. They're going to be 0-8 headed to week 9 in their bye week. Can they overcome their losing streak? Not so fast. Week 10 at Jacksonville Jaguars. It's going to be tough, but I see the Jacksonville Jaguars outlasting the Los Angeles Chargers. Week 11 versus Buffalo Bills. It's going to be tough, but I feel like the Buffalo Bills will have a consistent running game to run out the clock and win. Week 12 at the Dallas Cowboys. It's going to be too much and heavy dose of the running game, so it'll be a loss for them. Week 13 versus the Cleveland Browns. Finally, Phillip Rivers will deliver a game-winning touchdown to win that game against the Cleveland Browns. Week 14 versus Washington Redskins is going to be close, but the Washington Redskins is going to find a way to pull it out. Week 15 at Kansas City Chiefs. It's a blowout. It's not going to be close, and plus they're in the loudest stadium in the NFL. Week 16 versus New York Jets. They will win that game. Week 17 at home. They're playing for pride against Oakland Raiders. And the Chargers will beat the Oakland Raiders, making their 2017 season 3-13. 3-13. They will be playing for the top 10 draft pick. All right, let's go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Excuse me, not Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I apologize. As I look at my notes of the schedule, I forgot to turn the next page. I'm doing that right now. Last team of the AFC West is the Oakland Raiders. Week 1 versus Tennessee Titans. Week 2 versus New York Jets. Week 1, they're at Tennessee, not versus. They're at Tennessee. Week 2 versus New York Jets. Week 3 at Washington Redskins. Week 4 at Denver Broncos. Week 5 versus Baltimore Ravens. Week 6 versus Los Angeles Rams. Week 7 versus Kansas City Chiefs. Week 8 at Buffalo Bills. Week 9 at Miami Dolphins. Week 10, they have a bye week. Week 11 versus New England Patriots. Week 12 versus the Denver Broncos. Week 13 versus the New York Giants. Week 14 at Kansas City Chiefs. Week 15 versus the Dallas Cowboys. Week 16 at Philadelphia Eagles. Week 17 at the Los Angeles Chargers. Excuse me. Week 1 at Tennessee. It's going to be a close game, but Marcus Mariota will find a way to lead the crew and give them the victory at home against Oakland. Week 2 versus New York Jets. That'll be a blowout win for Oakland. Week 3 at Washington Redskins. This game could get interesting, but I see another blowout. Week 14 at Denver. Denver will find a way to make the game close, keep low scoring, and they will win against the Oakland Raiders. Week 5 versus Baltimore Ravens. Oakland will do enough on the offense to win that game. Week 6 versus Los Angeles Chargers. Same thing. It's going to be a blowout win at home. The Chargers not going to have a chance to compete with that firepower on offense. The Oakland Raiders defense is still suspect, but I see them winning a blowout. Week 7 versus Kansas City Chiefs. It's going to get close, but I have a feeling Oakland will avenge that loss from last year at home against the Chiefs. Week 9, Oakland Raiders is on the road against Buffalo Bills, and they'll pull the whirlwind. Week 9 at Miami Dolphins. They go from Buffalo to Miami, and they'll find a way to win in that humidity. Week 10, they have a bye week. Week 11 versus the New England Patriots. It could get close to the beginning, but the Patriots will open this game wide and win in a blowout. Week 12 versus Denver Broncos. Oakland Raiders will regroup, refocus, get their minds right, get their mojos going, and find a way to get a bounce-back win against Denver. Week 13 versus New York Jets. I feel like Odell Beckham Jr. is going to have a field day against the Oakland Raiders secondary, and it's going to be too much, so the New York Giants will win that game. Week 14 on the road against Kansas City Chiefs. That's going to be a tough one to win, and I don't see that happening for the Oakland Raiders. Week 15 versus the Dallas Cowboys. They will find a way to beat the Dallas Cowboys and possibly annihilate the Dallas Cowboys. Week 16 at Philadelphia Eagles. This could be a difficult game, and there's going to be a lot of points put up, but at the end, I just seen the Philadelphia Eagles making more plays to win that game. Week 17, this is a trap game for the Oakland Raiders as they go on the road and find a way to screw up on their play and lose against the Los Angeles Chargers, making their record 9-7 for the 2017 season, and they will miss the playoffs. That will do it for the first half of my predictions. When I come back, I'm going to finish up the second half, and we're going to go to the NFC West division schedule right here only on Gameball NFL Endzone podcast, where the football season never ends. What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to Gameball NFL Endzone podcast, where the football season never ends. Let's finish up the second half with the NFC West division schedule, starting off with the Arizona Cardinals 2017 schedule. Week 1 at Detroit Lions. Week 2 at Indianapolis Colts. Week 3 versus Dallas Cowboys. Week 4 versus San Francisco 49ers. Week 5 at Philadelphia Eagles. Week 6 versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Week 7 at Los Angeles Rams. Week 8, they have a bye week. Week 9 at San Francisco 49ers. Week 10 versus Seattle Seahawks. Week 11 at Houston, Texas. Week 12 versus Jacksonville Jaguars. Week 13 versus Los Angeles Rams. Week 14 versus Tennessee Titans. Week 15 at Washington Redskins. Week 16 versus New York Giants. Week 17 at Seattle Seahawks. With week 1 versus at Detroit Lions, I feel like this ain't going to be no competition, so the Arizona should have the edge to win that game. Should, but it could go the other way around. Week 2 at Indianapolis Colts, I'll see them getting another easy win on the road. They go from Detroit to Indianapolis. Week 3, they're back home. First home game of the season against the Dallas Cowboys. I see the Arizona Cardinals outlasting the Cowboys to win that game. Week 4 versus San Francisco 49ers. They're at home again, and I just feel like Arizona Cardinals is a more veteran team against a young team upcoming, and they will find a way to win. Week 5 at Philadelphia Eagles. It's going to be a tough one, but Philadelphia will find a way to make more plays and win the game. Week 6 versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They'll find a way to bounce back that game at home and get the job done, get the victory. Week 7 at Los Angeles Rams. Young team. It should be a blowout. Week 8, they have a bye week. Week 9 at San Francisco 49ers. The San Francisco 49ers somehow is going to be sneaky and find a way to pull off the upset at home. Week 10 versus Seattle Seahawks. They find a way to win on a late field goal at home. Week 11 at Houston, Texas. They'll find a way to get the job done and cause havoc for the Houston, Texas offense and force them to make turnovers on offense and when they playing defense. Week 12 versus Jacksonville Jaguars. It's going to be close and a tight one, but I feel like Arizona Cardinals will make enough plays to win that game. Week 13 versus Los Angeles Rams, another blowout. Week 14 versus the Tennessee Titans. This game could be a grudge match. It's going to come down to the wire, but I see the Tennessee Titans find a way to run the ball at the end to win this game. Week 15 at Washington Redskins. It's going to be a tough one, but Washington will find a way to make more plays to win that game. Week 16 versus New York Giants. They're at home. Odell Beckham the crew, but I feel like Eli Manning will find a way to get it done and put another loss to the Arizona Cardinals resume. Week 17 at Seattle Seahawks. The 12th man stadium, the last game of the season, and the Arizona Cardinals will lose that game, making their 2017 season 10-6 a possible playoff berth. We'll just have to see how the other teams do, if they get in or go home. Los Angeles Rams 2017 schedule. Week 1 versus Indianapolis Colts. Week 2 versus Washington Redskins. Week 3 at San Francisco 49ers. Week 4 at the Dallas Cowboys. Week 5 versus Seattle Seahawks. Week 6 at Jacksonville Jaguars. Week 7 versus the Arizona Cardinals. Week 8 they have a bye week. Week 9 at New York Giants. Week 10 versus Houston Texas. Week 11 at Minnesota Vikings. Week 12 versus the New Orleans Saints. Week 13 at Arizona Cardinals. Week 14 versus Philadelphia Eagles. Week 15 at Seattle Seahawks. Week 16 at Tennessee Titans. Week 17 versus the San Francisco 49ers. Week 1 at Indianapolis Colts. It's going to be a loss there. They ain't going to overcome Andrew Luck. Week 2 versus Washington Redskins. Same thing's going to happen. Week 3 at San Francisco 49ers. This could be interesting, but I feel like San Francisco 49ers will have enough on the offensive side, defensive side to win that game. Week 4, that's a blowout at Dallas. Week 5 versus Seattle Seahawks. It could be a blowout at home against the Legion of Boom and the crew. Week 6 at Jacksonville Jaguars. It's going to be a tough one, and I just don't see them hanging and winning with Jacksonville Jaguars. Week 11 versus Arizona Cardinals. They're at home, but same thing as I alluded to. They ain't going to hang with Arizona, and they're going to lose big. Week 8, their bye week. Week 9 at New York Giants. It's going to be tough for them to compete. That's going to be a loss. Week 10 versus Houston, Texas. They are against a veteran team, especially on defense. Jadeveon Clowney and J.J. Watt is going to cause havoc, and it's going to be a loss. Week 11 at Minnesota, same thing. Week 12 versus the New Orleans Saints against that high-powered Drew Brees, and that offense is going to put up points. It's not going to be even close. Week 13 at Arizona Cardinals, another loss. Week 14 versus Philadelphia Eagles. They might make it interesting, but it's going to be a blowout. Week 15 at Seattle, not going there against the Legion of Boom. Week 16 at the Tennessee Titans. They're going to get ramrodded and run off the road. Week 17, they will find a way to play spoiler and ruin the San Francisco 49ers and will get their first win of the season, making their 2017 season schedule 1-15. Let's go to the San Francisco 49ers 2017 schedule. Week 1 versus Carolina Panthers. Week 2 at Seattle Seahawks. Week 3 versus Los Angeles Rams. Week 4 at Arizona Cardinals. Week 5 at Indianapolis Colts. Week 6 at Washington Redskins. Week 7 versus the Dallas Cowboys. Week 8 at Philadelphia Eagles. Week 9 versus Arizona Cardinals. Week 10 versus the New York Giants. Week 11, they have a bye week. Week 12 versus Seattle Seahawks. Week 13 at Chicago Bears. Week 14 at Houston, Texas. Week 15 versus Tennessee Titans. Week 16 versus Jacksonville Jaguars. Week 17 at Los Angeles Rams. Week 1 against Carolina. It's going to be a tough one, but I feel like the lack of experience of the quarterback, Ryan Hoare, is not the answer. Neither is Matt Barkley, so it's going to be a loss against the Panthers. Excuse me. Week 2 at Seattle Seahawks. It's going to be a tough one, especially in that tough 12-man stadium, so it's going to be a loss. Week 3, they can find a way to get the W at home against Los Angeles Rams in a blowout. Week 4 at Arizona Cardinals is going to be tough, but Arizona Cardinals is going to make more plays to win that game. Week 5 at Indianapolis Colts. Somehow, some way, the San Francisco 49ers will squeak out a win on the road. Week 6 at Washington Redskins. It's going to be close, but I feel like Washington Redskins will make more plays on the offensive side to win that game. Week 7 versus the Dallas Cowboys. I would pick them to win, but the Dallas Cowboys going to be much experienced and they have that massive offensive line, and San Francisco would not win that game. Week 8 at Philadelphia, from the East Coast to the from the West Coast to the East Coast. It's going to be hard, and especially during time zone, and you don't know how it's going to affect their bodies, so it's going to be a loss. Week 9 versus Arizona Cardinals. They come back home, rest, regroup, recuperate, and refocus, and get the win against Arizona. Upset win. Week 10 for at Chicago Bears. That's going to be easy blowout win. Week 14 at the Houston Texans. That's going to be close. It could be close, but it's going to be a blowout at the end. Week 15 versus Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans is going to be too much, and they cannot hang with the Titans, especially that running game. Week 16 versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. They'll find a way to bounce back at home and get the last home game of the season, get the win there. And week 17 of the season, the San Francisco 49ers, unfortunately, will lose to Los Angeles Rams, making their record of the 2017 season 5-11. Okay, the last team of the NFC West, the defending division champs, Seattle Seahawks. Week 1 at Green Bay Packers. Week 2 versus San Francisco 49ers. Week 3 at the Tennessee Titans. Week 4 versus the Indianapolis Colts. Week 5 at Los Angeles Rams. Week 6, they have a bye week. Week 7 at the New York Giants. Week 8 versus the Houston Texans. Week 9 versus Washington Redskins. Week 10 at Arizona Cardinals. Week 11 versus the Atlanta Falcons. Week 12 at San Francisco 49ers. Week 13 versus Philadelphia Eagles. Week 14 at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Week 15 versus Los Angeles Rams. Week 16 at the Dallas Cowboys. Week 17 versus the Arizona Cardinals. Let's go off with Week 1 at Lambeau Field versus the Green Bay Packers. This game will be a different outcome. It'll be close and tight, but I feel like the Green Bay Packers will make enough plays on offense to win against the Seattle Seahawks. Week 2 versus San Francisco. They're coming back home. They're regrouped. They are the 12-man stadium, the loudest stadium in NFL in top 5. They got the fans, and somehow, some way, they'll find a way to win against the 49ers. Week 3 at Tennessee. It could be a grudge match, but I believe the defense of the Seattle Seahawks will stop the running game and force Marcus Mariota to be a passer and make turnovers and find a way to win that game in that category. Week 4 versus the Indianapolis Colts. I expect the same thing, but instead of close, the Seattle Seahawks will win by a blowout margin. Week 5 at Los Angeles Rams. As I was alluding to, Week 4, they will win the blowout margin against Los Angeles Rams. Week 6, a bye week. Week 7 at the New York Giants. It's going to be tough, but I feel like Russell Wilson will make enough plays on offense to lead his team to victory. Week 8 versus the Houston Texans. It could get interesting, but I see Seattle putting too many points up against the Houston Texans to win that game. Week 9 versus Washington Redskins. Same thing. It's going to be a close one. In the beginning, 10th of a second, there's going to be a blowout. Week 10 at the Arizona Cardinals. It's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be physical. It's going to be a chess match. Every time these two teams play, it's very close, but I feel like Arizona will make enough plays on offense to win that game against the Seattle Seahawks. Week 2 versus Atlanta Falcons. A rematch of the last year's game in Seattle when there should have been a pass interference call at everybody was complaining, but it did get called. So it is what it is, and somehow Seattle Seahawks will come out on top against the Atlanta Falcons. Week 12 at San Francisco 49ers. Same thing. It's going to be a different outcome. It's going to be a blowout margin, and San Francisco 49ers will not be able to hang with the Seattle Seahawks. Week 13 versus Philadelphia Eagles is going to be tough. They're going to play again like they did last season, but I feel like Seattle Seahawks at the end will make more plays to pull it away. Week 14 at the Jacksonville Jaguars. It could get interesting, but Seattle Seahawks is too well coached and they have too many talented players, and they'll make more plays than the Jacksonville Jaguars to win that game. Week 15 versus Los Angeles Rams. They're at home. It's going to be a blowout win. Week 16 at the Dallas Cowboys. They will stop the Dallas Cowboys running game, force Dak Prescott to be a passer, and will contain him in the pocket, and the Legion Boo will blow out the Dallas Cowboys. In Jerry Jones' world, I said that they will blow out the Dallas Cowboys on the road. Week 17 versus the Arizona Cardinals is going to be another tight game, but at the end, Seattle is going to be too much, and we'll find a way to win that game. Well, that will do it for my 2017 NFL predictions, wins and losses on teams. You can follow me on Twitter at Gameball, capitalized _ capital MYKE. You can also email me at gck.gnfle@gmail.com. You can also follow me on Facebook, Gameball College Kickoff / Gameball NFL Endzone. And you can also subscribe me on YouTube. And you can also follow my additional podcasts on SoundCloud as well. Well, I have fun doing predictions, and I will see y'all in the season of the 2017. Until then, I'm Michael Riley by saying have a safe, blessed night, and be good. This is Gameball NFL Endzone podcast, where the football season never ends. Peace. I am out.